What's up YouTube? Welcome to another video. I'm trying a different angle with the Osmo Action 4 today, and I hope the end result is good. Let's hope for the best. Alright, so as you might already know, the topic for today is Z900 versus the ZX4RR. Two very different bikes, but still there should be a comparison because they fall under the same price range. You might think that I'll pick the ZX4RR, but don't jump to any conclusions, because Kawasaki released the 2025 Z900 and it is amazing. I mean, the features that they have given, they have totally stripped down the old version and now they have given it a total new, different look and also feel, I believe, because the engine is also different. So stay tuned, we'll talk a lot about these two bikes today. As you all know, I ride the 2024 Ninja ZX4RR. If we have to compare the 2024 Z900, it will make sense, but let's not compare it with the 2025 Z900 because, like I mentioned, it's a totally different bike. So the price range of the Z900 is almost similar to the ZX4RR. I got this one for 10.1 on road here in Hyderabad, and Z900 I believe cost somewhere around 10.9 if I'm not wrong. So both the bikes more or less in the same price range, but they're very different bikes. You look at the power, you look at the engine size, and the reason why people buy these bikes is also very different. So a very obvious difference is that the ZX4RR is a sports bike and the Z900 is a naked. So people go for the Z900 because of the comfort, the riding position, and obviously because if you're paying about 10 lakhs and if you're getting close to a liter bike, then that makes a lot of sense, right? So a lot of you in the comments have been asking me why didn't I go for the Z900, because it's a bike that has been in the market for a long time, a lot of reviews, good reviews about the bike, and it's a very good package for the price point that it comes in. So my only reason would be that I wanted a sports bike. So for me, the biggest reason for going for the ZX4RR and not the Z900 was that proper sports bike feel. I wanted something that I could also manage in terms of power, so that is why I couldn't go for the ZX6R. So something that I could manage in city, something that I could use as a daily bike. So that was my reason for going for the ZX4RR. But the Z900 is an amazing bike. Talking about power of these two bikes, let's compare the numbers. First, let's talk about the torque. It's very funny when it comes to the torque numbers of ZX4RR because it's just 35 Newton meters of torque and it produces 77 horsepower and revs to 16,000 RPM. The Z900 on the other hand is 125 horsepower and it comes with 98 Newton meters of torque, which is crazy for a bike of that size. So it's a very powerful bike. I'll give you that. If you are someone who is comfortable managing a powerful bike like the Z900, I think you should definitely go for it. So the reason why I say that you should be someone who can manage a powerful bike like Z900 is because I lost a friend who used to ride a Z900. The bike was literally out of his control in one corner, and that's it. So yeah, Z900 is a very powerful bike. Other than that, I think Kawasaki has given the same package to both the bikes. Even Z900 has 3 riding modes. It has a custom riding mode also, where you can limit the traction control, you can limit the power. All of these features are available in both the bikes. Another thing you might want to consider if you are comparing these two bikes is that the ZX4RR has a very long waiting period. The bike comes from Thailand, fully imported, so you will have to wait for at least 6 months. And Z900 is not like that. You will get that bike sooner. So that's another thing for you to consider. Let's talk about the resale value of these two bikes. Now, if the ZX4RR is a rare bike, would you think that the resale value of it would be a little better compared to Z900, which is a more common bike? Well, I spoke to a couple of experts, I could say, on this, and they say that if a bike's rare like the ZX4RR, it's not always necessary that it needs to go at a good price or you can demand a better price. A bike that is very popular and a bike that is fast selling like the Z900 is a more preferred bike in the used superbike market. If the resale value is an important factor for you, then definitely consider the Z900 and not the ZX4RR. Fuel tank capacity, I believe both the bikes are more or less the same. The Z900 has a capacity of about 17 liters and the 4RR has 15 liters. It's just a 2 liters difference. So if you consider the 2024 up until the 2024 model of the Z900, it makes sense to compare these two bikes. But if you take into consideration the new 2025 Z900 that Kawasaki just announced, man, I'm telling you, they've done so many upgrades to the 2025 model. Let's start with a couple of changes that really amazed me. First thing, let's talk about the engine. They're going to give it a new engine which is going to bump up the power a little and also be compliant with the norms. And these norms, the sound norms and the environment norms, they keep changing all the time, so they need to keep the engines upgraded. So they've given the Z900 a brand new engine. It's still an inline 4. It's still that sweet sounding machine, but it's a more refined engine now. The 2025 model has something called the cornering control or something like that. It kind of controls I'm not very sure how this works. We'll have to wait for the bike to release and see what exactly this particular system does and how it intervenes with the cornering and how it helps the rider control the bike in corners. So that is something we'll definitely have to check. But so what they've also done is that in the display they have given a measure of how much your bike is leaning. So the lean angle of the bike is something you can now see on the display itself, which I think is a very premium feature to have. I think I've seen it on the BMW S1000RR, but not sure other bikes in this range gave that option before. So that is another thing that was really standing out for me. Then they have also talked about a new quick shifter which uses more premium material So I'm thinking the gear shifts up and down with auto blip will be smoother. Kawasaki has already done a very good job even with the ZX4RR. When it comes to the quick shifter, it's butter smooth. So I'm thinking they have taken it to another level with the Z900, the 2025 model. And how can I forget the headlights? That's the one thing that really stands out when you look at the bike. All this while Z900 up until the 2024 model had a one single big unit of headlight, but now they have split that, just like the MT-09 and all the other bikes. They've split the headlight and it's now a dual headlight that the bike will have, and it kind of looks good, I would say. Not that the old one was bad, the old one was also good, but this is a new and a fresh look, I would say. They have changed the seat, they've given a more comfortable seat and Kawasaki branding to the seat. So we'll have to wait and watch how that looks. So if you consider all these things, I believe the Z900, the 2025 model, is beyond comparison to any other bike of its class. And if Kawasaki decides to keep the price range similar to the 2024 model, I believe Z900 will give a very tough competition to a lot of bikes. A couple of you who saw my 1000 kilometers review video did ask me what I would choose if it was the Z900 or the ZX4RR. I mean, it totally depends, right? Like I said, my riding style, what I prefer, and what I always wanted to ride, the kind of fully fed sports bikes, was my choice. But if you're not very particular about these things, and if you think you need a better package, a bigger engine, a more powerful bike in the price range of ZX4RR, you should definitely go for the Z900, because I don't think there is any other bike that's as powerful as the Z900 in that price range. So yeah, there we go. That was a little bit about Z900 versus ZX4RR, if you want to call it that, or just the best things of both those worlds. So hoping you liked the video. If you're new here, please do consider to watch the other videos and subscribe. So until next time, be kind, ride safe. This is your riding brother, the Deccan Rider, signing off. See you in the next one. Cheers.